and succulent growers, it's Lynn, and in today's video I've decided to have a bit of a, well, not that I've decided, I have to do a complete clean up, tidy up and rearrange this very messy grow room of mine, and that's also my office. And the reason why it looks a complete mess, normally I have all the plants looking all nice and tidy and everything's clean, but those of you who've been watching my channel know that I've been taking out a lot of the cacti and succulents that we had here in the grow room back out into the yard and polytunnel for the spring and summer months. And while I've been doing that, it's just, I've had to like move plants everywhere. As you can see, it's a complete mess. Saucers there, seedlings there, and soil absolutely everywhere, and I've been lifting plants out. I mean, look at that, it's so messy. Bits falling off plants. The windows are filthy because when I had this covered with plants, when I had brought them all in for the winter months, you don't notice how messy it is until you take plants out. And as you can see there's grit everywhere. There's also mold in the corners where I need to clean, where the plants have been. So it looks disgusting. You know, I'm ashamed to say I do keep a clean house, but obviously when you've got plants everywhere, one is you can't see what it looks like behind them, and also the fact you can't reach them to clean. So it's going to feel so good to get the rest of these plants out here and give the windows a clean, the window sills a good clean. Take all of these plants that I'm leaving in here for the summer off the tables, give these filthy trays a really good clean, get all the soil off them, thoroughly clean them, and then I can start to put plants. These are all what I'm keeping in here, by the way, for the rest of the spring and summer. And then I'm going to be able to rearrange them all nice. It's going to look so much better, so much cleaner, so much tidier. And as you can see, I do have a lot more space now. So I'm going to be able to spread the plants that I'm keeping in here for the summer still across, and it's going to look so much more aesthetically pleasing. Normally I do have this grow room looking nice. This is where I had a lot of the Hylocereus and all the euphorbias and that, and because I've took them out, that's why it looks so bad. And I've also had plants that were in between. I had to lift this one out, for example, to take the euphorbias out. And this one is not dead. This is an Idria columnaris, and what it does, it's a South African succulent, has a cordiciform there, and what it does at this time of year in the spring, it loses its leaves. They go brown and they do fall off, which I'm going to be doing when I'm cleaning this now. And then sort of late summer into the fall, autumn, it grows all these new green leaves. So this one I'm going to be putting into the window, and also a lot of the remainder of the plants. These I might probably put onto the hanging basket stand here. And these are the Ripsalis that I'm going to be keeping in the grow room over the rest of the spring and summer, because in my opinion they seem to do better with a bit more shade. And this one here is a Ripsalis platycarpa, and this is past scorch damage. We take it out usually into the polytunnel for the spring and summer, but last year it didn't do too well. We had a lot of very high sun and heat, unusually hot summer, and it sort of went very crispy, but it's made such a lovely recovery now. Look at them lovely new leaves. So I'm going to keep it here. It's a very bright in this grow room, and it's a south facing room, and now that a lot of the plants have come out of this window as well back into the polytunnel, there's loads more light coming straight across, so they're going to be absolutely fine here. And just can't wait to get moving everything. Some Hoyas there as well. I've got plants rooting in water and orchids as well at the back here. So because I'm going to have all this much more space, I can move things across and rearrange. And that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I've done it all and how I arrange it all. So here we go, guys. I'm going to show you now. Obviously this is the before. Messy chaos. And now you're going to see it. Woohoo! That's it, all transformed. And as you can see, there is a lot more space, and the trays have all been thoroughly cleaned. Plants have been hung up, and a lot more sort of space as well on the hanging plant stand. I'm going to go through you now, do you a little bit of a plant tour, plant grow room tour here. And here, first of all, I have got one of my Ripsalises, and this is a Ripsalis crispata, and it makes a gorgeous hanging basket, and it has lovely sort of crispy sort of leaves, which is why it's called Ripsalis crispata. Absolutely gorgeous. And this has gorgeous little tiny white flowers in the winter time, so it's more of a winter flowering one. Sometimes it'll flower in the summer as well, but it gets plenty of light there, and it prefers more sort of bright but indirect light, so perfect for this. This one here is my Epiphyllum guatemalense, commonly known as the Curly Sue epiphyllum, and this one is sort of different to my other epiphyllums. I noticed this one also likes a lot more indirect light. I have the majority of my epiphyllums all out in the yard or the polytunnel, and they do well out there. They seem to like the sun and the heat, but this one prefers more shade, and it's growing very well. Lots of new little leaves coming on it there. Here, as I mentioned before, is my Ripsalis paradoxa. Gorgeous hanging basket, very long. They hang down like dreadlocks. I always joke and say about Hans's hair, because my partner has dreadlocks, and I have to say, this is like your hair, Hans. It's just an amazing plant. I just love the way it grows. Again, this is one that I have used to put out into the yard for the summer, but it doesn't like too much sun. As you can see, this is past sun damage. When it got too much sun, it grows much better in my grow room with a little bit more shade. Got plenty of light from the window though, so it does well there. Also has lovely little white flowers in the winter time. Now this one here is one of our Selenicereus grandifloruses. As I showed you in the intro, I have them kept here, but there was another one that was more hanging down with its stems, so I've actually got it hanging up in a hanging basket, because they do very well hanging down in hanging baskets, how they grow. And as I say, these are all the aerial roots, so that's a good place for it there. Then at the back here, I have my fern cactus, which this one is actually sort of, it does look so like a fern, but it is actually a cactus, another epiphytic cactus there, and that prefers more indirect light as well, so that's going to grow really well. Last year I had it out in the yard in a bit of a shady spot, but as you can see, the slugs had a field day on it, and it kept getting attacked by slugs, so I'm keeping it indoors this year to be on the safe side. This one here is another Ripsalis one, a few cuttings that I potted up and put into a little planter. So that's the hanging basket stand, looking a lot more empty than normal, because a lot of them have been brought out into the yard for the summer months. And then here hanging up, I've got one of my epiphyllums. This is Epiphyllum anguligia, and it's a smaller sort of cutting that I had. We have a couple of our big ones outside in the yard for the summer. Because this is still quite young, I've kept it here in the grow room, and it looks great in the little hanging planter up on the wall, hanging from where all the grow lights hang from. So that's great there. And I've also got my other zigzag epiphyllum. Now this one is another type of zigzag like this one over there, but this one is Epiphyllum anthonianus, and it has slightly more pointy edges to the leaves rather than the typical zigzag, which has the more rounded shape there. And this one has lovely sort of pink flowers on it. It's never bloomed for us yet, but hopefully one day. And that's a good position to have it here as well, because when we had it out in the yard last year for summer, it got a lot of damage, too much sun, and we had to cut it back. And this is all the new growth that it's had since it's been in my grow room. So that's going to do really well there. So I've got them at each side, as I'll just step back to show you to balance out. And then here at the top here, now when I go up with the camera, because of the lighting, it doesn't look the best. But this is another one is a Ripsalis platycarpa with the lovely big leaves. And I've got that there because, again, normally in the winter, the sun comes right through into the room. But here now it's sort of spring and summer. The sun comes mostly onto the front of the window, as you can see, and a little bit down here. So then it's going to be a bit more as well, a bit more shade there, but plenty of light as well. Here, as I mentioned before, I've got my Hoya carnosas that are blooming beautiful. And then here I've got my other 2 Hoyas as well. Now these are recent additions from my wonderful friend Danny Rose. And I had them rooting in water, as I showed you in the intro. And I decided to pot them up before I put them away because they were starting to grow roots. So they'll grow really well there too. Here I have some cuttings of a Crassula muscosa rooted in water. And then here I have another Rhipsalis rhombia, a slightly different variety to this one here, and this was one I also got from Danny Rose, a new little leaf growing on it there, so that's going to love that position. Another epiphyllum here, not sure of the ID. This one was gifted to me by my friend in Dublin, and I'll soon know what it is when it decides to bloom in the future. Another Rhipsalis here as well. And Rhipsalis cuttings, they're still rooting in water. Here I've got some seedlings of Corypanthus borwiggies that I'm in the middle, as I mentioned before, of going to be potting them up. So I've just got them there and got the little containers ready for them when I do pot them up in the next day or two. And this one here is also Rhipsalis paradoxa, some cuttings that I got from Danny Rose as well. So they've rooted well and potted up there. Here is another epiphyllum guatemalense. This is the monstrose one, and as I said, that's the other one I showed you, the guatemalense, the curly locks. But this one is more of a monstrose one. It's a much slower growing. It doesn't look too great at the moment because it keeps getting brown at the tips and I have to keep cutting it back. I'm not sure why, but it's come up with a load of new growth there, so that's good news. And here is a Parodia Leninhausi, as I mentioned there. That stayed in the same place, obviously. And then in the window, I've got a lovely Espostoa there, and I've got the Indra columnaris there, and a Stapelia, a Porophyllum there, and I've got some Opuntia salmianas, Austrocylindra Opuntia salmianas there too. Another little Stapelia, another Austrocylindra Opuntia, another Rhipsalis there, and then this wacky plant here. I'll just show you this with all the stem segments. This one is a Cissus quadrilanguaris because of the shape of the stem segments, rather wacky, and also more as well there. Just step back so you can see it because it's quite a wacky grower as well. Absolutely lovely. And then my big Hoya Kerry as well, growing all along the window. Loves that position. And then I've got my other 2 Hoya Kerrys that I've moved here now because I've got more space. That's the variegated one. And this one is also sort of slightly variegated as well. But this is one I got from a single leaf. And I've made many videos on this channel about the progress of this single leaf Hoya Kerry. And just look at it now. It's grown into an absolutely stunning plant. Here now, yeah, I've got another epiphyllum cutting there that I was given from a friend, potted up, and then some Rhipsalis cuttings rooting in water. And these are as I mentioned, my Selenicerius, or Honsis I should say, Selenicerius grandifloruses, and they've kept them in the same position because there's one that I think is coming into bud. I can just see, where is it now? There's a little start of the red starting to show up on it. They sort of go red at the areoles, and then that's where the buds come from. May not or may bloom, but we'll see how it goes. But there's 3 there, and as I say, the other one is hanging up on the rack. And here is a mixture of epiphyllum cuttings that I got from my friend as well, and they've rooted, so I potted them up. And then here is my 2 chlorophytums. I've got a lot of chlorophytums, mostly all down in the living room. So I pruned all the dead leaves off them, and I'm going to be potting them on as well in the next few weeks. And then here I've got my orchids that I had on this table here. Obviously I've cleaned all these trays, as you can see, a lot cleaner. And I've moved the dendrobiums. I've got 2 dendrobiums here. They're going to like that nice position because they like a bit of bright light and a bit of sun as well, which is perfect for them here. And it means then I don't have to worry about putting on the grow lights. And then here I've got my very big epidendron. And look at that, guys. This I've decided to put into a hanging basket, and I'm hanging it again from the rails, for the hooks I should say, from the grow lights, and it's perfect there because this one sort of likes a bit more indirect light. And just look at all them lovely roots. I spray this regularly with rainwater to keep it hydrated, and it's going to love that position too. And it means I can just spray the trays to hydrate it. I'll just step back so you can see. And it means taking it off the table is giving a lot more table space. So that's that. And then last but not least is my big old ficus elastica, commonly known as the rubber tree, and that's in the corner of my office there. It grows absolutely remarkable. I love it. I've had it for many years, cut it back quite a few times, and it seems to love that position there. And again, as I mentioned, a collection of crystals, because I'm crystal mad as well as cactus and succulent mad. So there you go, a little bit of a tour of my grow room, which is also my office. So now I can sit in here when I'm making my videos and replying to my comments and have a little bit of green paradise around me. I like to bring the inside, I like to bring the outside in. And there's the polytunnel, sun on it at the moment, very, very hot in there. So that's why I'm working in here today. I have a lot to do in the polytunnel with all the cacti and succulents, lots of rearranging. So there's going to be plenty of videos coming up over the next few weeks. So do stay tuned. And before you go, I have a massive favour to ask you guys. If you could leave a comment in the video description below, even if it's just a heart, in the video, in the comments down below, even if it's just a heart or smiley face, because every comment really helps the algorithm. And if you haven't done already, then don't forget to subscribe. Do click the notification bell. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Desert Plants of Avalon. And for more growing tips, do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And if you love cacti and succulents and houseplants, then do check out the affiliate link to the Funky Cactus down below in the video description. They have an amazing collection, an amazing selection of cacti and succulents for sale. And with every purchase, I get a wee bit of commission through the affiliate link. So do go over and check it out. I want to wish you all an absolutely awesome cactus and succulent plant powered day.